Now let's fast forward to the time of John's Gospel. It is the year 88 in the Common Era. That's a big jump for us to imagine. Say a leap of 700 years. 700 years since Zedekiah's blinding, and 60 years since Jesus' crucifixion. The people in the Jesus movement have become religious orphans. They can no longer worship in the synagogue. They've been expelled for teaching that the crucified Jesus is their long-lost heir to the throne of David, the Christ, meaning the Anointed One, the long-expected Messiah, and that he lived among us and we have seen his glory, to quote John's Gospel. John's community becomes the butt of ridicule, controversy, and persecution. For the first time, the people of the Jesus movement become a separate entity from Judaism. Within that population, one group of mystics tries to make sense out of who and what they are. They need writing. Think Mayflower Compact, Declaration of Independence, a church's mission statement. But mystics like John don't write in legalese. They don't even write in standard objective language, but rather in subjective feeling, using symbolism, poetry, metaphor, and song. One believer, an unnamed mystic we call John, begins a collection of writing for this new group to use in worship and instruction. His or her work is augmented by at least two other writers. What we have today as the Gospel of John is the work of at least three such mystic composers. We lump them together as John. It was bad enough to endure disagreement in the synagogue. Now comes disagreement in John's own congregation. Some of them cannot conceive of a body 3 days dead coming back to life, as told in the Easter story. John wants to blurt out to such doubters, "Of course not. The resurrection is not about the resuscitation of a corpse." But John has a more powerful way of explaining, and that is the way of the storyteller. He uses a succession of stories of Jesus encountering various elements of society, depicted as storied characters. First, his mother at a wedding feast. Next, a leader among the religious authorities. Next, a Samaritan woman at a well. An official of the empire. A paralyzed man. His own doubting brothers. And a man born blind. Through these stories, John illustrates the inclusive love of Jesus. He illustrates how that love extends beyond restrictions of family, as with his mother, restrictions of religion, as with the Samaritan woman. It extends beyond the restrictions of ability, as with the paralyzed and the blind. But John has one more story. It is particularly crafted for his early Christian friends who doubt that Christ can be present since they know he's been executed. And John's choice to represent that group is the disciple Thomas.